So you're a teenager and you're looking to get some financial advice and learn from some entrepreneurs. Well, welcome to the Income Series. I'm Brian Clark, and this is my channel, the Income Series. If you haven't yet, click subscribe. Look at it, click it, and let's get started. Now, there's certain financial information I wish I had received when I was young. I'll be laying down some groundwork in the video today, and at the end, hopefully I'll wrap it all together and help you learn how to gain financial independence. Let's start by talking about actions you can take right now to start building good financial habits while you're young. First, you should consider opening a bank account. This is one of the first steps in learning to manage your money independently. And since you're likely a student right now, there are banks out there that offer student accounts that eliminate most of the fees associated with having an account with a low balance. Now, some of the largest banks are Bank of America and Chase. They have the most ATMs nationwide across the US. Now, for me, ATMs aren't that important. So after the fees, the most important thing to me is the online platform. I want something that's easy to use, something that's easy to manage my money, something where I can set up auto pay and auto transfer. That way I don't have to think about managing my money at the beginning of every single month or every time you get paid. Now, if you're young and you haven't opened up a bank account before, consider opening up a joint account with your parents. This can be important if you don't have a lot of savings and you have even just a couple financial liabilities. Let's say that you have a car payment and you won't get paid for another 2 weeks. If your parents know that you have a job, a lot of times they'd be willing to lend you money for a couple of weeks until you build up that saving or that buffer for in between when you need to make payments and when you get paid from a job. Now, when it comes to the type of banking account, I almost use my checking account exclusively. I do have a savings account, but I don't use it that often. I do think there's a better option out there, which leads us into our actual step number 2. And that's to create an investment account with a brokerage. There are a lot of investment apps out there that are very easy to use. Webull and Robinhood are two of the most popular. Webull has a smoking sign-up deal right now. If you sign up and put in a deposit of $100, they will give you 4 free stocks valued up to $3,700. It's pretty impressive. If you use the sign-up link down below, I actually get a free stock myself, so it's a win-win. Even with me having other brokerage accounts, I signed up with Webull just to get the free stocks. I think it's a great deal. I actually find that I use my Webull account quite often to look at the charts and how much my stocks have grown over time, or if I want to make a quick trade. Now, if you've been trading stocks for a while and you want to be a more active trader, you may want to consider a brokerage like TD Ameritrade or Interactive Brokers. Once you've opened up an investment account with one of these brokerages, you should consider opening up a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is a retirement account where you can contribute money that you've already paid taxes on, and then as that grows, when you withdraw that money at the time of retirement, you don't pay taxes on the interest that you've gained. Initially, as a teenager, you're likely not going to have a lot of money to invest in your Roth IRA or in your investment account. So something you may want to consider is investing in something called exchange-traded funds, or ETFs. Now, what they are is they're a collection of stocks similar to a mutual fund, but they generally don't have the high management fees. This way you can stay well diversified even if you don't have a lot of money to build out a large portfolio of stocks. And I'll tell you, learning to stay well diversified in your investment portfolio early on is going to save you a ton of money. I cannot stress this enough. Stay diversified. Now, one of the next important financial steps to take is to start building credit. And you can do this by getting your first credit card. Now, you need to be very careful with this. It's okay to sign up for a credit card, but before you start using it, you need to be very familiar with their online interface, how to pay it, and make sure that you can pay off anything that you buy. A credit card is not a license to spend money that you don't have or that you don't have coming in. A credit card is something that you should pay off every single month and is something that you should use as a tool to build points or get rewards. Because of how these online platforms have evolved, you can set up auto pay for your credit cards for your bank, and even a lot of banks offer their own credit cards, and it's very easy to see your balance, see what your checking account balance is, and pay your credit cards automatically. For your first credit card, I would recommend getting one that has 0 fees. That way you can keep that credit card forever. You want to have a long-standing credit. If you cancel a credit card, you lose that credit history. And if you get a credit card that has a yearly fee, you're going to be paying that yearly fee for the rest of your life if you want to maintain that credit history. You need to remember that credit cards have an interest rate of 17 to 22% annually. So even if you're just making the minimum payment, that can destroy your financial future. What oftentimes happens is people will abuse credit cards when they're young, get themselves in financial trouble, cancel their credit card, and then have bad credit for the next 7 years. Now, there are other ways that you can build credit. You can usually get a used car loan if you can show some type of work history. I generally recommend buying a car that's, say, less than $10,000 as long as it runs well. If you can save up a small down payment, that's actually a good lesson in learning how to save money. And then from there, make sure to set up auto pay in your bank account for your car payment. Now let's move on to the next step. Let's talk about learning to work hard early on in life. We have some great examples that we can follow. Let's just look at Bill Gates. He was 19 when he first started programming over at Honeywell, and then he started what later became Microsoft when he was 20 years old. Not only that, in the 70s, there were no personal desktop computers that people had to learn from. You had to seek out these opportunities to learn how to program. Mark Zuckerberg is another example of somebody that learned to work hard early on in life. He was 19 when he founded Facebook. That means that he learned how to program way before that. Both of these individuals went to Harvard. It's hard to get into Harvard. You have to be very ambitious and hardworking to get into Harvard to begin with. Work ethic is learned, and it's something that carries with you in life. Whether it's a job, a side hustle, or your own personal business, even this video, nobody forced me to make this video. This takes a lot of time, effort, preparation, and I have to be self-motivated to create it. Now, whatever it is that you choose to be passionate about, whether it's your career or your business, put time into it every single day. You need to learn how to be self-motivated to be successful in life. Now, if you're considering a career, I know that many employers appreciate experience over formal education, especially today with all of the alternative learning opportunities that we have. If you have high ambitions for a certain type of career, maybe try to get a low-level entry position in that company. Find out if it's something that you truly enjoy doing, and if the company likes you, they may even subsidize or pay for your education. From what I've found, those with work experience outperform new grads every single time. And it's not because they necessarily know exactly what's going on. They've learned how to work hard. They've learned that work ethic in the workplace. Now, the next thing I would recommend is to start a business or a side hustle. Learn not to be dependent on an employer for all of your income. I think it's so important that you learn how to make your own money, and don't be one of those people that literally get stuck in a job because they're fearful of being able to make money or move on to something else. My mindset of whenever I worked as an employee is that I was going to save up my money and use that capital to create my own business or to fund another investment. Never treat employment as an opportunity to simply live the status quo. Now, when I was in college, I started my first business doing rock chip repair for car windshields. It took me about $200 of upfront capital to get started, and that was it. And it was a great little business. I would build an insurance company so it would be free for the client, so it was a very easy sell. I was making somewhere between $50 to $70 an hour, which is great money if you're in college, and I just worked about 2 or 3 hours after my classes. When I started making that kind of money, I immediately dropped my job working over at Johnny Carino's. I didn't even put in my 2 weeks notice because I had literally no intention of ever going back and working that kind of job again. I later expanded that business to teach repair shops and lube shops how to do rock chip repair, and then we would do the insurance billing for them. And one of the most important lessons I learned is even at a young age, highly successful people who owned dozens of lube shops would look at me as the expert. So don't let your age be an obstacle. You can accomplish great things, and people will take you seriously if you know what you're doing. If you want to learn how to take your finances to the next level, go ahead and click subscribe, look at it, click it. And you guys have a great day.